It's pretty huge. It's probably the biggest buff I've seen in this game that doesn't have to do with changing any skills. It was just how the targeting was working intuitively. Should you summon? That is the question. We've got our first Should You Summon video of this week, and it is about Arrogance, one of the top couple heroes in the entire game. I rate him the second best fighter in the game, full stop. And then we got the brand spanking new Talula, who, if you saw the thumbnail, it's not a clickbait, it's not a joke. She was buffed. Not buffed in terms of her kit, but in terms of how she actually works and her mechanisms of what the computer AI decision-making decides to do. It actually was a Forerunner buff from a couple months ago in the middle to end of September, but because we all did our testing at the end of August, beginning of September, we didn't realize. So I'm going to go deep into that mostly because she's juicy. Like, she will cleanse for you on a 120k Semra Apocalypse 2 team. And, you know, with Apocalypse 3 looming large as something that could come, you're probably going to want your Eloin over there. So I actually think Talula is not fully must-have, but borderline, and for an account without Eloin, insanely juiced up. But when it comes to deciding should you summon on this banner a definitive S+ borderline triple S unit with Arrogance and a very good S unit, maybe could be approaching S+ once we do more testing, Talula, it's so good, but it comes with a crazy question mark as we answer the question, should you summon? And that's because we're getting the Lyra / choose your own adventure banner, right? Where you can select any non-Lord normal hero in the game. So any of the heroes listed over here. The lag on the summoning portal. No, I don't want to use Salazar right now. Let me show you guys. You can see any of these heroes from Zealous to Xena. You can pair any of them with Lyra on that Choose Your Own Adventure banner, either next week or the week after. So it's very much this versus that. We also do know Sung Wukong almost certainly is coming within this patch. So whether he comes in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we know he's coming. Huge thing to note, it is no longer for limited heroes a 250 guarantee. It is now a 200 guarantee. So that's 50 more summons in your pocket. We've got to discuss all of this stuff, but let me tell you, this is, without being like the total triple S tier banners can be, I'd say it's one knock below because these heroes are excellent. We've got a new hero who is very, very good. It's juicy stuff. We got to talk through all of the situations and get into it. Should you summon? Let's answer that now.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, I figure let's start with Arrogance because this is only going to take me 2 minutes tops. Arrogance is the second best fighter in the game. The only fighter I think is better than him, and I'm not counting any lords, so we're not counting Valderon and stuff like that, but of the non-lord legendary heroes in the game, and epics as well, I guess. Arrogance, I have him second only to Ardia. I've got a great full-class fighter tier list me and Ronaldo did that is coming out next week. I think you guys are going to love it, and you'll see. We both are in agreement that Arrogance is broken good. I would say Ardia gets the edge over him because she's so unique, because her attack is so high, because she is so OP, and she's stupidly strong in PvP. But for all you GVGers, for all you non-GVGers, all you people that don't care much about PvP, the people that focus on PvE, I would say Arrogance is better, honestly, because he's so versatile. He destroys aerial units. He destroys ground units. He's in the perfect faction for his kit. He's got burst. He's got multi-target. He's got single target. He's got AoE. He's just phenomenal. You can see these ratings above my head. He's an S+. He was on the very short list, if you don't know, on my tier list here on fastidious.gg, my website, best website in the realm. We always have no more. We have exactly 5 at all times non-lords, 5 non-lords, and 5 lords that get triple S status. So it's a big decision-making moment I have whenever I update my ratings, my rankings, with regard to who gets that triple S designation. And with the non-lords, I narrowed it down to about 7 on my final list before I made the cuts, and Arrogance was one of those 7. He is that flipping good. He just misses the cut. You see it all right in front of you. I give him a huge boost because he's top-tier goated insanity in Guild Boss 1 and Guild Boss 2. I think that's the 2 most important things to do in the game. That is where your best rewards come from. And then he's just phenomenal in all of other PvE, just phenomenal, crazy range, crazy versatility. He is capable of so much. He's so versatile. And then he's supremely good in PvP. He's just not super duper top tier. So that's Arrogance. I think that's enough said. He is that good. If you don't have him, you've got to try to go get him. I've had him A4 for like 7 or 8 months now. Will I finally get him A5 on this banner? We shall see. Spoiler alert, I am summoning on this banner. If you're going to be summoning on this banner too, I'll have a sign up for a pulls party in the description in the top pinned comment of this video. You can also find all those details on my Discord, the Fast and the Fastidious. It's very short notice because I just got back to Utah this evening. It's going to be tomorrow morning. I really hope to see some of you guys there because it's an exciting banner because of Arrogance, as I said, and Talula. So let's get into Talula now. Talula's able to do a lot of things, but the mechanism, I think mechanism is the word I want to say, or the functionality of how she does her healing and how she does her support moves is so bizarre. She summons these butterflies. They hang out with her. When she needs to, she sends them over to allies. And when they're on her, she gets this effect called Butterfly Waltz, which stacks. When they go to allies, they give this Forest Spirit effect. They do a kind of continuous heal over time thing, but also the existence of the butterfly with the Forest Spirit can do a cleanse. And then on top of that, it can do some very significant damage reductions. At full skill ups, it's 30% physical damage reduction. So whatever physical damage incoming is reduced by 30%, as well as 30% magic damage reduction. And you get a very healthy, with max skill ups, 1% rage per second. However, you can't really control these butterflies. This is a huge issue for Talula. So she was shaping up to be an amazing PvP unit where there's less units to heal and less units to send her butterflies at, less units taking damage. But for other things, like where you'd really want her for the cleansing, like Semra, Guild Boss 2, Titanic Ruins, it was very inconsistent. And I can actually show that to you right here. I've got an amazing video pulled up from Ronaldo, which you can see was back on September 4th. And remember that date, not just because it's my friend Reed's little brother Luke's birthday, but for other reasons. So you can see it's a great video from Ronaldo. I really enjoyed it. I watched this whole video, which is not something I do all the time. You can see I have a comment here. Very, very good video. I stand by this. And he kind of confirmed in this video something I had wanted to test at the time, and he did a brilliant job testing it, which was like, is the RNG of where Talula sends her butterflies good enough and reliable enough to make her work? And based on watching this video, and I think Ronaldo came to the same conclusion, it was a big fat no. She was not good enough. No siree. However, shortly after this is when she had just arrived on the test server. I'll say after this video, I did some testing of my own. I confirmed it. It was not reliable. You know, if she sent all her butterflies to allies in the same area, you were not getting good effects, even during the ultimate, where you'll see the butterflies will be able to share their Forest Spirit effect with, you see those circles popping up here in the image above my head. It's all adjacent tiles, but if they all were on one side, you could still get totally screwed with your cleansing in Semra, and you wouldn't get the damage reductions, you wouldn't get the rage regen. It just wasn't very nice at all. Like, it really, really wasn't. They did fix it, though. She straight up got buffed not that long after. So remember that date, September the 4th, Luke's birthday. We go over here, and thank you very much to CI Phoenix, who DM'd me about this and sent me the link to this old post from September the 25th this year. And this is in the Forerunner server news patch notes. But I've since tested it today on test server, and it actually is existing in test server and will come to global. They just like fix the optimization of how she sends out those butterflies. So you can see a couple things they did here, but the key thing, Talula the Holly Blue, optimize the target selection logic for her ultimate Enchanted Ritual. So she's always sending out the butterflies as soon as someone if she has butterflies. When it's not the ultimate, as soon as someone's health drops below 100%, she sends them the butterfly. The butterfly stays there for like 8 seconds is the standard. And then if they're full, it leaves. If they're not full, it leaves for a moment, goes to Talula, then comes back to them. However, for this one, Enchanted Ritual, she instantly sends one butterfly to each of up to 3 allies in range. So you know they're going, whether they're fully healed or not. So it no longer has that condition, but it could be clustered up. But this optimization change that CI Phoenix shared with me and that I've now tested and does work, it makes sure they spread out. Why is that significant? Well, like I said, during the ultimate, you get that nice circle of adjacent tiles that get touched. So if you spread out well, you can guarantee if the targeting is correct and optimized properly like it is now, that everyone does get touched. So now during this ultimate, it is actually a full AoE cleanse as you would like it, taking advantage of this passive. And moreover, you get the crazy reductions. So while you're getting cleansed, you're taking less damage, and you're getting some nice rage regen, and you're getting some continuous heals. It's pretty huge. It's probably the biggest buff I've seen in this game that doesn't have to do with changing any skills. It was just how the targeting was working intuitively, the way the computer, the AI, or whatever it is, the CPU is deciding what to do. Now it decides good, and good is good, and it works, and it's brilliant. And she's completely functional in a lot of PvE stuff where you need her touching a lot of different units. No longer is she kind of constrained to stuff where you have less allies, aka Guild Wars and the arena. This has risen her or shot her up in my estimation in a pretty major way. I probably was thinking of her as like probably an S, but like a low S, borderline A+. She's still probably an S. Maybe though soon she'll get to S+ once I've had more time to test her. I'm very open to that because she's a very high S in my mind. Because I haven't done her ratings yet, but they will be live by the end of the day tomorrow or Friday. Guaranteed, you have my word. I was thinking she was going to be like really good in PvP and that could help you like APOC 1 progress and could help you generally in some PvE stuff, but wouldn't be a star. I actually think she has star potential now, and certainly thinking that an Apocalypse 3 might come, I think she's going to be the number 2 option by a mile after Elowen. And who knows, even for some content, maybe there'll be a meta that arises where she could even keep up with Elowen, you know? The rage regen will never be as good, even though it's 1 per second. She's only going to be touching everybody during the enchanted ritual, whereas Elowen at full skill ups from Nature's Favor, her passive, it's 3% every 3 seconds, map wide, no conditions, so you just can't compete with that. But the damage reductions could be crazy. Could this open up some really deep runs for a lot of people? Maybe a lot more people are going to start breaking 200K. I don't know, but she works now, and that is the point of what I'm trying to say. I think she's flipping awesome. So I think I've kind of explained why this banner is hype, why it's really good, why I'm going to pull. I think I'll probably pull for 2 legendaries and just roll the dice because I kind of want a little taste every weekend for this holiday season, but that's my privilege as a content creator with my diamonds, I guess. I don't know. But I think a lot of people need to make the decision. So what you need to think about is this, and I'm going to have a video coming out no later than the middle of next week, but certainly within a week, right? I'm going to have a video where I'm saying a full ranking and a full explanation on who you should pair with Lyra if you do the Choose Your Own Hero banner. And again, if you guys don't know what that is, let's see how quickly I can dig that up here in the events. If you don't know what that is, it's this over here. It's Lyra on 15x. She's a new, very powerful burst single target mage with dual faction and Esotericist and Infernal. And then over here, this little void chasm thing she's making, this little spectral rift thing, or whatever you want to call it. This is Choose Your Own Hero. And it's any of those heroes, like I said. So this could be Hex, this could be Silas, this could be Elowen, this could be Arrogance, this could be Talula. You get the picture. I think it really comes down to who are you missing? If you're missing Arrogance, but you already have Silas and Elowen basically, and those kind of couple heroes better than Arrogance, then go for the Arrogance banner probably. I mean, Lyra's going to be tremendous, especially in Guild Boss 2, very, very, very good in Guild Boss 1, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, she's a single target mage, right? That's not a thing we so covet in this game. Seraphina is considered bad in this game. Seraphina is a very good single target mage. Lyra will be better, don't get me wrong. But that's someone that does the job really well and is not so present in this game. Nocturne is a phenomenal single target mage. Lyra will probably be better, but it's just not such a thing in this game. Comet technically is a single target mage, but left, right, and center, he's got AoE bursts in his kit, which actually makes him the best mage in the game because he's coded like a single target, but he's actually AoE. When it comes to just single target mage, unless you're like Soul Cadens, it's just not such a thing. I mean, I don't think there's anyone I'm forgetting. So the real appeal to this banner, as cool as Lyra is, and as like stoked as people should be when they pull her, the excitement of that banner is who's the +1? Is it Silas? Is it Elowen? Is it Arrogance? You know, and if you're the kind of account that needs Arrogance, maybe just summon on the Arrogance banner where the other heroes Talula, who quite frankly will help more people than Lyra will. Go through it with me. Nocturne, tremendous single target mage, not really used in a lot of content, not really a thing in this game. Anai, she's okay, not really used. Seraphina legitimately is good for a single target, not so used. Glacius, legitimately good. doesn't get so much use. It's just not such a thing. When it comes to the mages, you want AoE, and then if you want single target, we have enough single target options for magic, especially for Hex owners, where it's like you want the improved range, and then they've got Piercer, and then they've got an extended kind of thing going on. That's kind of how I feel. And they're cheaper, right? They're cheaper to deploy. So make that assessment, and you can wait for my video if you want. I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. Chat with your guildmates, whatever you want to do. I just think you really need to think about who's your +1 going to be. If you do not have Eloin and you do not have like Silas, then yeah, obviously do that. That should be the priority. But if you have those guys and you don't have Arrogance, I mean, this is such a hype banner. It really is. That's kind of the point of what I want to say. The final consideration is Sun Wukong, who is shaping up to be. I haven't covered him yet because I'm really waiting for hard stuff. I mean, people are saying he's been buffed and this and this. He hasn't been buffed. He's never been released, not even on test server. That's not a buff. They're changing his kit. They're still working on him. It's a work in progress. It's great we're getting that news, but for me, I'm going to wait till I actually have the cold hard information because the hype's already there. The hype's already real. Everything we're seeing, even if they cut back on a lot of the skills they're putting out for him in these leaks and the stuff from the game file we're seeing, he's obviously very, very strong. I'd say at a minimum, he's going to open up a lot of things for people in Guild Boss 2, and at a maximum, he's going to be a fairly versatile universal hero with very high stats and a really unique enough kit. I think he's going to be the kind of hero that is a fully must summon, and that's not to say he's better than Arrogance. Maybe he is. I'd be kind of shocked if he's better than Arrogance, but you know what I'm saying. It's not to say he's better than Arrogance or better than Lyra or better than to choose your own. It's to say he's going to be at the worst very solid and at the best tremendous. And he's guaranteed 200 summons, and you know you have him. You could summon 1,000 times on this banner and not hit either of these. You could summon 1,000 times on a Lyra choose an Eloin banner, right? That you could choose Eloin and do her with Lyra, and summon 2,000 times on it and theoretically miss. I mean, obviously it'd be unlikely, but it does happen, right? And most of you don't have 1,000 summons. If you have 300 summons and you're saying, I have Lyra and Eloin, that's the best banner ever, most of you won't get them. That's how stats work. With Sun Wukong, if you have 200 summons, you have him. So for people that are, more in the middle, and whether because you're a low spender or free to play, or you just blew your wad, or you're not going to buy any more for this season, if it's one or the other between these three, between Talula Arrogance, between Lyra and the Pick'em, and between Sun Wukong, and Sun Wukong should be coming certainly within 4 weeks, probably 2 or 3, we hope. Probably 3 is that's what I'm feeling in my heart of hearts. He feels like a New Year's thing at this point. The Chinese New Year thing that we were promised clearly is wrong, but it's feeling like a New Year's thing. We know those 3 banners are coming within this patch, this update that happened on Monday. It's all there now. We know it's all coming. If you can only do one of those 3 things, to me, it's such a no-brainer that you do the guaranteed hero, because that is a bird in the hand. Don't mess around. Don't get cute with it. If you can afford to do 2 of them, go for the guarantee and then make that calculation. If you're missing Eloin, obviously do Lyra Eloin. But if you really need that Arrogance and you have an Eloin, then maybe do the Talula Arrogance, because I do think for most accounts, as crazy, bursty, and ridiculous as Lyra is going to be for bosses, she's going to be fairly contained, at least for now. Things could change. They could always add new stuff, but right now, she is a single target mage, and that's not the hottest thing in this game. So I think that gives you guys enough to chew on. I hope I covered a lot of my bases. I hope we get cold, hard information about Sun Wukong very soon. I do appreciate the work of the Leak Boys keeping everybody informed. Just for me personally, just because the goalposts are constantly moving all the time, it all feels very unreliable. It's useful to keep us with our eyes open, but for me right now, I just want to wait till we know stuff for sure. I'm bothering our dev contacts, being like, hey, give us some cold stuff. They said it's coming soon. That's the best I can offer. But no, he's still not even on test servers. So I'm at least going to wait for that. But we know for a fact he's going to be good. So I hope that gives you guys stuff to mull over. If you have any further questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Should you summon? For a lot of you, probably. For a lot of you, weigh the options. Look at your account. Look at your roster. Figure it out. I believe in you. Thank you. Subscribe. Share with your mother. I've been Fastidious. I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.